Welcome back to another episode of A Record of My Father. Today we're talking about the 5-year plan that you just sent me, right? I'm looking at it
Yeah,
right
I,
now on
I
my phone
thought
here.
well, we keep talking about this stuff, and we started on this juncture because of the whole COVID thing later on, and then then you had this idea and said, hey, when I started talking about my dad, you said, oh, hey, we should do something and record it, and then we should record it and post it, and that it might help other people, but if it doesn't, well, the heck with them. We'll continue to do what we want to do, and also it'll give you some insight into who I am and what I am because it's a question that I've always asked mine. And along those lines, uh, uh, I left employment at December of 2020. I never thought I was retired. I think I'm starting to accept that now. And last year, I was trying to be still Mr. Strategy because that's kind of, I always think about the future, like what's next. So I wrote a plan, and I just wrote it down as the 5-year plan. I just scrolled down like 30 different items or 40 different items. Like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to be? What are the things that I want to accomplish in my life? Because, you know, when you retire, you're definitely on the last quarter step, quarter anchor, quarter whatever it is of your life. Death is right, there. It's some not too far away. And so if there's things that you've ever decided that you wanted to do or accomplish, uh, today, so for
Yeah.
me, I felt like I should write down everything. I mean, one of them, a big thing for me has always been travel. And I got bit with the travel bug. Uh, we've always gone away 3 times a year.
When do you think was the first time that you got bit with that bug?
Uh, well, I really got bit with it when I went to New York the very first time when I went to the New York Stock Exchange and we sat down with the head of the stock exchange in 1985 and Mr. Tuttle. I remember that. We
And that
sat
was
across.
through ODU, right?
Oh, that was ODU, and I paid for a ticket on an airline. It's like People's or something, and it was $99 to go to New York. And I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world to go there. We took a roadster. No, we rented a car or something. Some van took us there to the New York Stock Exchange all together. There was 20 of us. It was the finance club. It was a forwarded thing, and I forget what the cost was. We used to go there and they talked about it, and it was really interesting to me to go to a different place because up until that point, uh, I'd been to Florida, and that was it.
Oh well. Yeah,
And
because
then
the
and
outside world at that point really is you don't really know what it is. You don't know
and then
that it exists.
I went through my whole 20s dating people in other cities.
Hmm.
I dated somebody in Boston. I dated somebody in Chicago. I dated somebody in Pensacola, Florida. I dated somebody in New Jersey. I dated somebody in Dallas, Texas. I mean, it was just like, what?
Hmm.
And you could argue that, hey, frightened of commitment and all that other kind of stuff like that.
I mean, that's the first thing that I would say about
Yeah, that's what anybody would say.
that.
But you also have to say, and
Yeah.
here's the most coolest thing in the world. If
Mhm.
you can go and you meet this person and you connect on the phone, which was always connecting on the phone because it was a customer of some sort or the other I met through, or a friend of a customer or something like that. We got introduced, and I have a great gift of gab and a great voice, and then they assumed, and then they saw me, and they're like, "Oh, fuck," and then, well, anyway,
What did I get myself into?
but anyway, well, then you meet and you go, and when you do that, you for 48 hours you fly to Dallas, like for instance, fly to Dallas, leave on a Friday, come back on a Sunday night because I have to go to work Monday. And I go to work after, and I go there after, you know, after closing on Friday. So, or might get off a little early. So you got 2 days, right? Person picks you up at the airport like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So you're staying there. First time you meet them, you might eat something. You're together. You are together, and you've never met each other. And then you go and you just kind of like play it by ear and see how things go. And in every single instance, it was a complete click, very good, very easygoing, wonderful. And you never, ever, ever see anything bad about these people
Because it's
because
such a short time period, right?
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I can hide anything from you for 48 hours.
Sounds like a great time. Gosh.
And I would only, and the thing is you can't afford it, so you can only do it once a month. So I'll talk to you on the phone all day long, but I'll see you, you know, and then when you withhold that passion and all that stuff, and then you only get to go for 48 hours, it's amazing. And when you go to a city where a person that lives there, they know where all the cool stuff is. And so you get this personalized trip around the place. Like when I went to Dallas, I went to all the cool places. I was like, wow. I mean, we
School
went.
places in Dallas.
Oh yeah, there's. I
I
mean,
didn't realize there
I
was
went to the CEO's office of a Fortune 100 company. Which was a big thing to me. But you would be like, it's just an office. Well, they had a board table and all that kind of stuff. I went to Lower Greenville. I went to White Rock Lake. I went to. I mean, we went in
go to
all the
the
big
art museum. That's
buildings.
the only place I ever went.
No, we pretty much drank all the
The
time,
art
partied,
museum is the
and
only place. Now it's very I don't even know how to explain it. Very not industrial, but it's quiet. There's
oh,
nobody
it
on the
closes.
streets.
Well, at 5:30, everything closes.
There we go. Yeah.
You could literally have sex on the streets in Dallas at 6 o'clock at night. No one would
Yeah.
even notice. No one would even notice. They'd
No,
be
no,
like,
no.
"What?"
Even at
No,
like 10 p.m., there's nobody. There's
no,
nobody.
because we
There's
would go
nothing.
there
It's
after
weird.
hours,
It's
and
ghost hours.
hence the office
But let's
experience.
get
But
back to this
that's
5 year
another
plan.
story.
Let's get back to this 5 year plan. And
Grossing you out there, am I?
and so you have these broken up into different
I
categories.
just did that. I mean,
What
when I
but what is the difference? I see be a good person, but then there's purpose and self-worth, these headers. But what's
yeah,
the difference between be a good person when being a good person is also providing yourself with purpose and self-worth?
I
That's
don't
my
know.
question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I had a stream of consciousness, and this whole thing
Yeah.
was see those dark. We have dark one, two, three, four, five, six. I have six different areas: purpose, self worth,
Mm.
broader emotional health, learning horizon, health, relationship with wife and son, be a good person, knowledge and learning continuation. And I just added those in the last
Mhm.
week. I wrote
Okay.
this last August, and none of these were grouped the way they are now. I sent it to a number of friends and they sent it back to me. Some people actually wrote a bunch of comments and said, don't do this, do this, do this, don't do this, do this, do this, couple them together, group them. I mean, Bushka's the one that said put them in groups. So I said, that's kind of a good idea. He said, you got all these things that are kind of like about your health, but you got one up here, you got one down here, you got shit about your family, and it's over here, it's over here. Why don't you pull it all together and put it under headings, and then you can know whether or not you're working on something and I was like, wow, that's kind of
It's not a
really
bad
smart.
idea. Definitely.
No, it's a smart idea,
Organization for any
And then I had Conrad
for
came
anybody.
back and he told me stuff too, and everyone said this is what you should do, and this is where you are. You're already doing this and this and this, and it's a whole lot of different things. And it's 20 some. What is this? 30 items? 3, 6, 9, 12,
A
15,
lot.
20, 20.
But it's very
It's about
manageable though.
30.
That's very
Yeah,
manageable though.
yeah. Because
Uh,
I hit
Because
all of
it's not
these.
egregious. It's not
I mean, I
egregiously
eat
long.
healthy. I exercise with weights. I achieve 10,000 steps a day. I'm trying to reduce my weight, which is me up and down.
The
Uh,
jujitsu thing too is you did
I
that
just
already.
started that. I just started that. I won the lottery again last year. Uh, I don't know if I haven't. I the landscaping. I'm changing a little bit here. I've added things. I've changed things. I mean,
Reduction in liquor intake too has been
oh
a
yeah.
big change.
Well, since the end of the year,
I think
I
the
think
eating
it was.
healthy 5 days a week too. You've been doing that a lot.
Well, there's a.
You've been knocking out a lot. So you can't write things on the list that you're already doing. You're cheating. You know that,
I
right?
wrote this last August.
Okay. Well, I'm joking.
See, it takes a long time. You can't just say, okay, I'm now going to no longer uh, uh, say dirty words.
Hmm.
Slowly over time, you use them less and less if you see it as something that you need to change. And that's it. You look at yourself in the mirror and you go, okay, what do I like about myself? And what do I think that I need to change about myself? And I mean, I remember we were talking about legacy a few ago. It's like, what do you want to leave people laugh? And that's where the be a good person came in. That's why he just put the header in there. I didn't have any like reason other than those are things I like to do. I think I could probably move those around. You're right.
Yeah. No, I'm just
But
curious because they seem similar, but I understand breaking them up into more subjugated categories because it seems easier to
mhm.
the brain to look at instead of one long list, You look at 5 different lists with
Right.
shorter amounts of things that you need to do,
Yeah.
which I think
Well,
is
I have to like
incredibly
knowledge and
helpful.
learning. I should probably move read over there.
Mm. How many are
You
you at
know,
this year?
I think I've got two, but
Well,
I'm
you still did
reading
two.
two.
That's two more than you did last year.
No, no, I
No.
think I had four or three or four last year, but I read like, I mean, no, the one I read, I think I read one this year.
Okay. Which one
I
was it?
read the one that you told me, the little short one.
No, that was
It's
really good.
of Mice and Men.
Oh, I thought you read Fatherhood for Amateurs too.
Oh, I read that too. So I've read two this year.
That was
Fatherhood
you.
for Amateurs and Of Mice and Men. Those are the two that I've read. Uh, I want, I almost picked up books today. And what it comes down to is, uh, you got to think about it. You got to think about the things you want to do. I mean, and the weird thing is that I'm not on the clock. I'm not like, you got to be here, you got to do this. I got schedules and things like that, but for the most part, I can do pretty much whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it, uh, unless I'm going to piss people off. But for me, that's it's a great thing.
There was
It is.
something in on reading or no on writing by what's his face Stephen King
Yeah.
about how if you replace the majority of your time on your phone or watching TV with just reading, you could probably easily read 80 books a year.
Well,
And I
that's it.
and that's something that I got into for a long time.
That's the reason I have to put reduce phone screen time right
I
underneath that
have to do it. I have to do it. It
because I
also helps
have
with your sleep too,
well,
astronomically.
and when you think about it, playing Boom Beach or
You're
what
still
is
playing
that?
Boom Beach? You're
Oh,
still
I play
playing?
everything.
No
No,
way.
I go through them and then I throw them away, and then a year, 2 years later, I go back and I start over.
I haven't played any game on my phone and I can't even remember how long. I just never was my thing.
I
Social
have it.
media though is so consuming. It's
I have it in like 11 minutes, and you know, so we
Mm.
better hurry this up so I can get on to my next game.
Because I feel like you know what's funny? I played Xbox the other day for the
Hmm.
first time in like a week, and just the residual high that you get from a TV screen while staring at it like that. I
Yeah.
forgot. I walked downstairs. I'm like, what is wrong with me? It's like
Well,
going to the gym and I was like like twitching.
do you wonder
Strange.
that does this doesn't give you the same thing? It's not the
No, no,
same.
this is different. I think it's
Not at
because it
all.
has something to do with your hands moving something on a screen. I don't know.
Well, there's also I don't know. I am not just intaking with you. I have to give back. Whereas on a screen, I'm scrolling and I'm reading and I'm going like, "Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that person. Oh, I agree. I hate that person. Oh, we all agree that that's stupid. Oh, we all agree that that's bad. I feel good because I'm reading stuff that everybody agrees with me about on."
Your
And
interaction with the screen is
right.
maybe
And
something that
that's it. And the whole thing is that uh if you just step back and think just a little bit, the reason you're seeing all that stuff is because they know.
oh, it's all
They
calculated.
already know what you like. They already know who you voted for. They got a sense of it. They already got to know. They already have a know of where you live. They know your economic status. They know that you shop at Giant all the time because I put my code in to get my 7% discount or 6% or 3 or whatever the heck it is. They know every bit of food I buy. They know when to market and when to sell me new soap and when to sell me new underwear. They know that what places I shop at. They know my credit card information. When they pull my credit card information, they basically know every single thing that I spend money on for the most part, since I don't have I mean, it's because most of the it used to be most of the stuff went through the credit card, so you could basically know my whole life by looking at the credit card, you know.
Hmm.
And then my house and where houses, you know, I mean, and everything, and my travel because that's all on the credit card. You know what cities I go to, what hotels I stay in, what type of hotel. I mean, pretty much, you know, that's it. So you could actually you could build an app or a screen that I would like to look at and agree to. You would show me travel shit, beautiful, far up, exotic places. You would show me new cool clothes that you could wear. You would show me anti certain political people. We don't want to make this political. You could, that I agree on these percent that we should help the poor. That it's horrible that what happened in to the workers in Gaza. They were just killed recently, and I think that's horrible. And I posted something. So obviously now I will get much more posts back agreeing with that position. Every so often they give you a negative position because what they want is they want you to believe that the majority of what you think is correct and true. And there's this slice of little people out there that are wrong, and you need to go attack them.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
And when you attack them, when you press and you write and you type that in, you actually are building revenue for that company and the company that actually ultimately owns that particular site. There's multiple different ones. So you're paying Facebook to insult someone else, or you're paying Newsmax to insult someone else, or you're paying uh, 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 Washington Post, which Washington Post is getting readers because they advertise through Google, whatever the heck it is, and Google gets a piece of it, and somebody else gets a piece of it, and somebody else gets a piece of it. So they're all sharing your information to make your world the thing that will maximize their revenue. And it's really weird when you start to think about it. It's like, do you really have free choice?
Well, that's what I was thinking about as well, as the idea
Yeah.
of this this I this quote unquote American idealism, and how freedom is something that we've always pursued, and yet it's becoming more and more narrowed every day due to what we are consuming on media. And
Right.
it's like I was thinking about, there's somebody who was talking about Ben Shapiro the other day, and
Mm-hmm.
how he talks about the Daily Wire and how the Daily Wire is an accurate form of of news media, and yet he's using his stance and saying that, oh, I have this access to freedom, when in fact he's just using the idea of American freedom and basically pigeonholing it into a circumstance of supporting Israel, which I think is incredibly,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because he's
So
like,
you
you
like,
can't trust these people, but you can trust this over here that allows you to read freely. And I don't know. It's
yeah,
pretty,
okay.
it's a
So
little wild.
he's selling. He's selling.
No, exactly. And but a lot
And
of people can't see through that. I mean,
right.
that's a lot of people become indoctrinated with who they consume media from,
Well,
and
do you
especially these individuals as well. I don't know when we've become so obsessed with such a variety of different individuals that have no real background and have no
well, when you
real
start to look at
evidence.
them and you start to look at their like education level and their knowledge level, it's really not that high.
Oh no, not at all.
And you're like, "Oh, so you've never read the Odyssey. You don't know about the Iliad. You've never read Mark Twain. You didn't even go to college. I mean, you start to look at most of the pundits are incredibly good talkers, you know.
Very quick, very fast. And if you don't respond quickly, that means you're stupid. That's how it works.
Well, what they do is they move on to the next thing to get you to show the audience that you are in fact inferior. And so the audience continues to look at you and say, "Ah, he's inferior because he's not basically being a dick back." And you're like, and it's weird that you need to see people do that to prove something. Like
And
you
to
don't
think
I
about,
mean when I see Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't need to see him like be mean.
well, I think everybody's fear too is the loss of status in a debate or in a conversation in
Okay.
which they are afraid of being demeaned or shrunken, when in fact it should really just be a
Well, it's a
conversation
good
about
point.
each person's human experience. Because, well, I have a very different experience than somebody else right next to door to me in this apartment building does, right? Or even the other two people that I live with. And that's something that we often forget, is that no matter your political agenda or affiliation, even people within the party are different and have a different experience. We don't all experience the same things.
Well, I think, and I have a lot of red, blue, green, orange, and yellow friends that are acquaintances or close people, not friends, but you know, most of them agree with me on some level of control of weapons.
Oh yeah,
Most of them agree with me on public education. Most of them agree with me that poor people should be fed. Most of them agree with me that we should put them in houses. Most of them agree with me that we should have some type of a training path for them to get out. Most of them agree with me that the largest dollars that we spend should not be with the military. That shouldn't be the overshadowing. I mean, so it's like, and I'm not talking about the people that are supposed to agree with me. I'm talking about the people that should be hating me because I made a joke about Donald Trump or something, and it's like,
Mhm.
well, it's like, no, we're pretty much all in like, yeah, 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 you're right, you're
I think
right.
when we really started running into issues was when we started voting on these giant geopolitical issues and how things that happen in other countries are affiliated with my political opinion when in fact we should be more focused on local politics.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
because I
because it controls
realistically,
it.
there's not one person that I'm going to affiliate myself with and say, oh, they're going to change the world. It's a group of people, it's not
Right.
one. And we're now looking at these people as if they control everything, as if they can have an, I don't know, a really, really big
They're gonna
impact
make they're
in
gonna
these
make healthcare
huge
perfect.
issues, which they don't.
They're
Yeah.
gonna make the border perfect. They're gonna make the Russians and the war in Ukraine perfect. They're gonna make the Israel Hamas Gaza war, whatever that is. They're gonna make that. It doesn't work
It's going
that
to be
way.
gone.
It
Yeah. Yeah.
hasn't.
It's unrealistic. It's incredibly
It steps,
unrealistic.
and everybody takes steps, and the thing is and then every single one there's compromises because and I think the thing is that people on both sides, it seems, and maybe I'm wrong, because it does seem like a lot of stuff has been done legislatively, well,
Somewhat.
more so, you
Somewhat.
know.
Well, I mean, Roe v. Wade, that was crazy.
Yeah, that I mean
That
that's the
was
other that
insane.
was the other
That
way.
was,
But then I look at the infrastructure bill, which is something that they've been trying to pass for 10 years.
mhm.
And we got $2.5 trillion, and people are like, well, what do we need that for? And then the bridge in Baltimore falls down, and you're like, oh,
What was
well, I
that
mean,
about, by the way? What, do you see that video?
it's cool.
That was crazy.
Well, I mean, a lot of people came out with conspiracy, but I mean, simple,
I mean,
what do you
who would
call it?
gain?
Engineering.
Yeah.
Simple engineering is if you have things that are held together in the bridges and you move one support, the whole thing goes.
Oh, I'm not even talking about that. Could that
Yeah.
boat even fit under there? It looked like it
No,
couldn't
it
even,
couldn't. It couldn't. It
right?
wasn't supposed to.
It
But
didn't make any
it
sense.
lost power
Yeah.
and steering, and the
Oh,
guy
I didn't
dropped
hear
the
that.
anchor, and it didn't stop it.
Because, yeah,
And
it's
it didn't
because it would
stop the
keep moving.
500-ton vehicle
No,
immediately. It
no.
went into the bridge. They warned people. So, I mean, there were only 7 people on a bridge, and what the heck was it? 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that in itself, that span of a bridge to only have that few people
That's
on it,
pretty shocking to
and
me.
those people were working on it. They stopped everybody else. So, this could have been many, 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 many times more
Oh,
horrible.
way worse.
You know, but
I
it's
don't
like,
think I've ever
whoa,
even been across that bridge.
me neither.
Oh,
Well, no, I
okay.
probably
Where is
uh
that bridge? I don't even know where that bridge is.
I don't know. It's on the north side, I think.
Oh, it's on the
I
north. I definitely haven't been
I don't
across that.
remember. I don't remember.
I've
I
never
think
been
of,
across it. Yeah.
yeah.
They
Well,
said Baltimore Bridge. I said what? I
just
said, huh?
now you're never going to go over it. Okay.
No, I don't think I will.
Well, you
That's gonna
can,
be a long time.
but you're gonna have to swim.
What was the what's the next one? Let's grab another one of these. Win the lottery again. So what's your strategy for that?
Uh, I buy tickets. I'm on the Virginia lottery where Powerball and Mega Millions, and I bet $2. You buy a ticket a week, and it's $104, I think, a year for each one. So I spend $208, and I'm in every single lottery, and I don't have to think about it. I
Oh,
used to
that's
like,
great.
oh damn, I should have bought them. Oh man, I should have bought it. Oh man, oh man, oh
You've
man.
really said that to yourself that you should have bought it.
I have. There's
Huh.
like $150 million. No, there's a $500 million lottery, and I meant to get to the lottery thing to buy it because I wanted to win the 500 million because somehow I thought that was going to matter. And frankly, if I win this $1 billion lottery, it will change me about this much.
Hmm.
I mean, because I just don't have that, and that's one of the reasons that I haven't continued to pursue to and maximize and grow wealth is because I don't see the point unless I'm going to help other people with it. You
I
know what I
think what
mean?
I would do if I got that much money, I would buy two Aston Martins and I would stack them on top of each other. I
Yeah.
think I'd make an Aston Martin truck. I think that's exactly what I would do.
Well, see,
I don't know how I'd do it,
what
but
I
that's
was
what I
telling
would do.
people is I said I would buy a $5 million yacht. I would drive it over to the 14th Street Bridge. I would have a 45 and I would shoot like 8 holes in the bottom and sink it. And then I'd be like, fuck it, I can do that.
So what you would do is you'd go to jail for the rest of your life. Okay.
It's just the dumbest thing in the
Oh
world.
my
Well, I
God.
mean, people always tell you the boats, the best day of your life is the first day you buy it, and the second best day is the day you sell it.
Yeah, I
It's a
believe
it's
that.
a it's an absolute nightmare. I mean, to me, it's like, okay, I still wouldn't buy a boat,
Well, I
even
had
if
a friend. It's only if you're really going to do something like circumnavigate the globe or something really, really cool
Mhm.
like that, because that's what my friend
Well, it'd
did,
be better if
actually.
you
He did a
stole
portion
somebody
of it.
else's boat, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, that is true. Well, that's what I was telling William. I was like, William, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to circumnavigate the globe? And he's like, no, I have absolutely no idea how to do this. And wouldn't you rather just have a tour guide or somebody that whose boat would do it, and then you would just get on there? Because owning the boat is it's
It's
not
stupid.
really my
Well, there,
forte.
who's the guy that uh most important movie in the world, biggest movie in the world, the Blue Pigs?
Waterworld?
No,
I love that movie. That movie's
no,
so good.
God, that's trash. The
What? How dare you?
no,
How?
the
You know
two
what? I might have to end this right
Cameron,
now.
Cameron,
Oh
James
yeah, Avatar.
Cameron,
Avatar.
huge computer guy, really plugged in. That's a nice way to put it. Into the tech community. Probably is not plugged in.
I
He's
like
probably
that
blue.
pun.
He's probably Bluetooth.
That's a
You know,
good pun.
but anyway,
I
he's
like
probably
that.
Bluetooth to the tech community. Designed a yacht was, and he had a group of people that designed the yacht that you actually just run the whole thing, all the masts, all the engines, everything via a computer, which is unheard of.
Instead of paying thirty
So,
thousand dollars a year to have a crew, yeah,
or anything.
that's
You don't need
crazy.
anything. It's like when the wind blows above 6 knots, the mast goes to half automatically. It will GPS what I mean, I want to go to Hawaii. I'm in a 140-foot yacht or 160 whatever, and I just plug in the coordinates and the direction and all that. I don't even do that. I just plug it. This is where I want to go, and it just takes me there. And it slows down. And it's how long it's going to take. It's going to take 28 hours or 36 hours or 2 days or whatever, of just consistently driving. What if I want to save fuel? What if I want to do this? What if I want to do this? What if I want to do this? And it has all the options you could pick and choose. And it's like, that's wild. I forgot
Wow.
what book I was reading a book that was talking about that was being built. And, oh God, there was it was about, it might have been about the venture capital industry because he was a, or the movie industry or one of them. I
I feel
forgot.
like that would almost be easier than an automatic car because you have fewer options. Because you don't need to abide by street regulations. Other cars that are on the road as well, because
You
you
know,
make like a
well,
billion trillion different calculations while you're driving in a second.
yeah, but when you drive a car, you're in between two yellow lines. You are driving at a set speed. And
Okay.
when the wind picks up, that speed doesn't change by a lot. And the pavement isn't moving up and down, splashing and slowing you down or speeding you up or moving you left to right or sideways.
I'd be scared of
So,
weather patterns changing quickly
well, they're always
and
changing.
giant tsunamis coming and
So, can you imagine
eating me alive.
if every road was a river? I
Oh,
mean,
like in what is it, Finland or whatever that town is.
yeah, yeah, Amsterdam. Anyway,
Well, there's another one where it's even more so than that. There's no even sidewalks. It's just boats.
yeah.
I'd
Oh,
live
Venice.
there.
Venice, when you go there, it's like
Queen
that.
Anne's County in Maryland, I think is where that is.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Yeah, it's right on the
Well,
waterfront there. It's
right,
really
right
beautiful.
there, right there. I always thought that was
It's a
cool that you could take your boat out and you could dock it at a restaurant. I don't know why that is just
There's a lot of places
so
that have that. When
amazing to me.
you go down to Florida on the Florida Inland Waterway, that's what you do is you get on your giant cabin cruise. They do it here too.
Ozarks in Washington,
Yeah, there's the
Adirondacks in
Ozarks.
New York.
And no, but even in DC, if you go across to what is that? What's that bar across over in Georgetown? It's on the water.
Bar. Oh, the waterfront, the Georgetown waterfront.
Yeah, what's the hotel place? It's Sequoia.
Something. Oh,
It's
okay.
Sequoia, I remember. I mean, everybody pulls up in their huge, giant, cool cabin cruisers, gets out, and
I
has
forgot about that. I did
their
forget about that.
platinum cards or gold cards or whatever. I remember that's where you go to get. I had one of the people I work with that said if you had the right credit card, you could hook up there, and I just was like, okay. Now that, yeah, okay,
That's nice.
that's cool. Yeah,
I always
yeah,
wondered what the docking fees would be in that marina in
yeah.
DC. I can't even. I can't even
I
begin
don't
to
think they're that
imagine.
crazy.
Really?
I think that you
Huh.
have certain ones that are controlled inside of the Pentagon that are fixed. It's kind of
Mhm.
like fixed pricing. But also remember that if you're paying X to have it done and there's no slots, there aren't any ever open. You can't get a berth there. It's like you got to wait for years and years and years otherwise because most of the congressmen when they come in, they give it to the next person that comes because a lot of them have houseboats there. And
That's what
that's
so
instead
related
of
to do.
buying a condo and all this other crap, they hop on a houseboat. And it's a lot cheaper, but I mean, from the people I know that have lived on houseboats, the which is the sum total of two, uh, the winters suck.
Oh, I can
They
imagine.
just, and he said here in Virginia, your water lines freeze. You have all sorts of things that you have to do. You have your heaters on 24/7. Electricity bill goes through the roof. All sorts of things like that.
You also
Unless
have
you
a
have a good pro.
depreciating asset as well that
Yeah, it's
will never.
trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically when you buy it worth a 1/10 of what what you bought
But
it
there's
at.
something about being on the water, you know.
Is there? Is there? Though? Not for
I
me, but
mean, you and I when we went to Galapagos, remember? Was it, laying there in that little room overlooking the islands and waking up in the morning and watching the sunrise and I mean
in South
that's some
America,
beautiful shit.
maybe. But in DC, I guess I could see that. There's a sense of Huckleberry Finn or adventure or something like that, where you're.
That's it. Adventure and it's a natural quiet beauty,
That is fair.
that
That's a fair
yeah.
point.
When you look out over the water and there's nothing there and then all of a sudden National Airport, the plane comes driving down the thing at 7:15 in the morning.
What I always wanted to do was kayak the entire
Yeah.
length of the Potomac to the Chesapeake Bay. I always wanted to do that. That's something I think would be so like a 5 day trip, or I
You
don't even
should
know
you should
like
talk
how
to your
long.
mother because she said she took her and a friend. Who was it? God, it was somebody. Might have been.
It was Dina, right?
Yeah, and they went
The
across and they
REI tour.
talked about all the needles and all that kind of stuff and trash and the garbage in the Potomac and everything like
Oh, that's
that and
wonderful. But that's around
global
DC though. Once you
unrest.
get outside,
Yeah, it's even trashier.
it's
Uh,
Clean Water Act 72. They made that river barely swimmable again. So
it's a lot better than it's ever been. And when you walk along the Potomac, I mean, when I used to walk along the Potomac as a kid, there was just trash strewn all over the beach because it washed in from being dumped in the river. And now it's not there.
mhm.
Or there is some. There's the bunches in certain places,
The
but
damn
for
snakehead
by and
fish too.
large, it's not just like huge pools of, you know,
Yeah,
stacked garbage on the edge of the and it's like and that's what it used to be. And that was and it's like when people talk about government, it's like, there you go. That's socialism. Get
it
over it.
is. It is a
Clean
huge
water is
aspect of it.
and for me, I like clean water.
You
Just
ever see the
always
thing
have.
when you go down to the Potomac? It says BC. What is it? It's like the not the BCAAs. It's like the ADDs or something. The ADHDs. For
ADHDs.
where they talk about if you eat the fish from this this creek or whatever this river, that there are huge traces of this I don't know acronym of some sort,
Oh
and
yeah, I
there's
know what you
cancerous like they'll tell you not to
PCBs,
fish in there and they'll give you a
PCBs,
fine, but they never do.
PCB, PC
There
something
we
or
go. There
others.
we. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
PCBs,
I want to say
PCPBs. Or something.
PCBs because
Yeah.
and it's what is it? What's in a thermometer? Mercury. That's what it is.
Yeah, huge traces of mercury.
It's the mercury that will kill you if you have, and that's got the highest content, and
I
all the
heard
other
if you
stuff.
smoke a cigarette while you eat the fish, it cancels out. So I think that'll
I
be
do
fine.
too. Well, I do cigars, so
Well, the same thing.
you
That'll
know,
still work.
I'm
Well, we're
I'm
coming
I'm.
up on our time here already.
Oh my God,
We're
you talk way too fast.
you talk way too much. You
We
way too
covered
much.
like four items.
Yeah, I think we might have to do a part two on this one. We might have
Yeah,
to do that. Maybe.
yeah. What's
Well,
planned for life?
yeah, we could do that.
And you know what? If I decide tomorrow I want to add an item,
How
I can
dare
do
you?
that.
No, you
And
can't.
if I and
No,
I had like five more on there. I wanted to get to know my senator and get to know my
that'd
congressman
be
and
pretty
all this
cool.
stuff.
I never
But no,
did
I
that
I took them
before.
off because I'm like, screw them. I don't care what they think.
I never did that though. I think that'd be
You know,
interesting.
it's I mean, where you are, as soon as you go to vote, you should call them and say, hey, I want to you to know I'm a new voter, and what are you going to do for me?
It's true.
And they might say, I want to hire you. I mean,
That'd be pretty cool. get
Yeah, I
into
mean it's not
politics.
that hard. They're always looking for
It's
people to
always a cesspool now.
do work for nothing.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up here as always. Q&A section in the Spotify questions, answers. We have them both. Thank you guys for listening as always, and we'll see you later. If you have any parting words,
I think that we were checking the Q&A section, and it appears as though Joe Rogan had started to leave us a message, and he didn't. I just want to shout out to
draft
Joe. If you want to finish that message, we're here. We're here, and we're listening.
we
Party on,
sure
old
are.
man.
All
Right.
right. Bye bye.